let me teach you that your money, view it as a green soldier. Okay. And what we say within the Kesler family is your dollar is your little green man. And the objective is you want to go put your little green men to work
Work.
for you, create an army of green men that are out there working. He taught us to pay ourselves first. We can go down that rabbit hole if we want. But
For
number
sure.
one, pay yourself first. Number two, take the dollars that you're keeping. It doesn't matter how much you make. It only matters how much you keep. And those keeping money, you need to have that money have a job that's out there working and producing revenue, producing cash flow.
Hey there! You're listening to Amplify Your Legacy. This podcast is packed with insights and strategies to turn your passion into something that endures for generations. So get comfortable, stay inspired, and let's jump into today's episode with your host, Sallana Brown.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Amplify Your Legacy podcast, the space where we uncover the stories, the strategies, and lessons that help you level up your purpose, your mission, and leave a legacy that lasts. I'm your host, Sallana Brown, and I have an amazing guest today, someone who broke the financial handcuffs most people wear their whole lives. Hannah Kesler started the financial journey at just age 18, waitressing at Cracker Barrel, and by age 24, she was a millionaire. She's a financial educator, a speaker, an entrepreneur with the Money Multiplier. And it helps people take control of their money, reclaim their financial freedom, their time freedom, and build legacies that outlast them. So, Hannah, I want to welcome you to the show.
Thank you, girly girl. It's good to be here.
Love it. Let's talk a little bit more about your story. Give us all the details.
Yeah, because I'll tell you, I was not in this world whatsoever. So I now live over here in Florida, but I actually grew up in the Kansas City area, and I will always be a Midwesterner at heart, but honestly, I'll never change my Floridian residency either now. But growing up in the Kansas City area, I had parents that were entrepreneurs. My dad was a chiropractor. My mom was running the billing for the chiropractic offices and other chiros across the country. I've always grown up with that entrepreneurial spirit inside of me. And yeah, my second job ever, my first one was being the CA, a front desk person at one of my dad's chiropractic offices at the age of 14. But then I got fired, and that's a conversation we can have if you want. So then when I get fired, I have all the tears running down my face, and I'm just so distressed. I went online and I see all of these applications. I start filling out these job apps, and then actually an ad for Cracker Barrel pops up. And back then, Cracker Barrel didn't serve alcohol, okay? So I was under the age of 18 and I could go and waitress these tables. So I applied that next Wednesday. I got the job. I went in and I started waitressing. And I'll tell you, I think that's really where I found my work ethic at. Because what was so cool at Cracker Barrel is that we didn't tip share. I don't know if that's still true to this day, but we didn't tip share. So I determined how much I was able to make in a night based on how well I took care of my guests, how quickly I wanted to flip the tables, right? So I really found my drive of how to produce my own income based on how I showed up for myself and for the job at hand. So then, I'm going through a little bit of college, and actually I dropped out of college. I was going the route of pursuing to be a CPA, and I was like, this ain't for me. So then I was like, you know what? My true passion is I would love to be a fashion designer. I want to have my own clothing line. I want to open up my own boutique. I want to make people feel great in their own skin from the outside. And that's where I found out that my grandfather had this 529 plan for me. And I was looking at a school in Savannah, Georgia called Savannah College of Art and Design. And that's where I figured out that my 529 plan would not fund for that out-of-state tuition. So I was like, well, crap. Now I'm going to have to go out there, get this student loan debts. Then once I go through this 4-year university. I'll go find myself like a 45, 50-year job. I'm just kind of working backwards doing that. So then that's when I came to Pops, almost like with my tail in between my legs, thinking, all right, Dad, I don't know everything there is to know on this whole big wide world. I need some help. And Dad was
Yes,
like, okay, well, I need help in my business. And if you're not going to help me, I'm going to go find someone to help me anyways.
of
So
course.
that's really where I started in this whole journey of teaching the infinite banking concept, understanding money, because trust me, I've had some low times where I used to have to ask past boyfriends, hey, I don't got money to make my rent here in Kansas City. I need some front. Can you help me here? So I really went on this path at such a young age because my parents did not make money such a taboo subject within our household. And then walking the path alongside Pops being my first and favorite mentor, I'll say,
Mm,
hearing him talk to people, helping them in their own financial journeys, because we get it. I mean, I came from a household where we were drowning in debt. I mean, back when we learned about this whole concept, Dad was in almost $1 million of debt. And by implementing this new strategy, he was able to pay off that debt in 39 months. So we've been there. We've dug through the ditches with y'all.
sure.
And now that I know how to do it, I'm just sharing the message. Hopefully I can help other people in their monetary life.
That's perfect. I love the story. My goodness, so many people can relate to drowning in debt. And I love that your story shows that, and then you show them a way through it. That's amazing. And you speak about time freedom. Why is that such a core part of your message?
Yeah, because I think about this multiple times every single day in my life. I think about how time is the only resource that we can't get back, right? You can always go buy more things. You can always make more money. At the end of the day, time, you cannot get that back. No matter how much money you make, the color of your skin, the language that you speak, we all
Mm-hmm.
have the same amount of hours within our day. And sometimes Jesus calls us home sooner than what's expected, right? So I just have this firm belief that I don't want people, especially with here in America and just as our society, I don't want our pocketbooks to dictate how we spend our time, where we spend it at, with whomever we spend it with, right? And at the end of the day, it's money that allows us to have that freedom of choices of how I'm going to be spending my time within my day. And so, a lot of people can even give this connotation to money that it's a negative thing, right? We've all heard that before. But once you really start to understand that money is nothing more than a tool, means of
Sure.
exchange to buy me my time freedom, it just has this whole other perspective of how you treat it, how you understand it, and how you act with it.
So true. Absolutely. Okay, so when you think about money and legacy together, what's an early lesson about money that really changed how you see wealth?
Yes. Okay, for all my parents listening, here's a little tidbit. My father would sit us kids down. So I have a younger brother and an older brother. He would sit us down and he would say, "Hey, guys, let me teach you that your money, view it as a green soldier." Okay. And what we say within the Kessler family is your dollar is your little green man. And the objective is you want to go put your little green men to work
Work.
for you, create an army of green men that are out there working. So then you don't have to go out and work for it. You can go sit your butt on the boat on a Wednesday afternoon if you so please. So what Dad would say is, hey kids, number one, he taught us to pay ourselves first. We can go down that rabbit hole if we want, but number
Sure.
one, pay yourself first. Number two, take the dollars that you're keeping. It doesn't matter how much you make. It only matters how much you keep. And those keeping money, you need to have that money, have a job that's out there working and producing revenue, producing cash flow as well. So he would say, guys, instead of you leaving your money at the bank or inside of your own private infinite bank, aka the infinite banking concept within my properly structured whole life policies. So guys, instead of you leaving your money there, how about you give your money to me? Give your money to me. I'll pay you 10% on it, and I'll pay you out the interest every month. And then what dad would do, because dad's a lender, right? He likes to go and lend on real estate. That's just what he's into. And so then what he would do is take our money, pay us 10% on it, and then he would go lend it out to somebody else making 15, 16, 18% on that money, right? But it taught me at a young age that money is just a tool to go out there, work for me, produce more wealth that comes in, because at the end of the day, what are we all striving for? It's the time freedom that we're trying to take back within our lives.
Indeed. Absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about the money legacy, continuing with the infinite banking concept. For those who are new to it, how does it work?
Yes. Okay. Well, here's where I would go first. You need to add a book to your library called Becoming Your Own Banker. And here, for all my video people, Becoming Your Own Banker. It's written by a man named R. Nelson Nash. Now, you can go on Amazon, get the book that way, but this book completely changed my family's financial life. I'm truly second generation into this family banking concept. And some of y'all, maybe you have heard about it before, but maybe it's never been explained to you this way, where you're like, family bank, what is that? Bank on yourself? What? Right? So I would encourage y'all to go deep and research Becoming Your Own Banker. But essentially what this concept is all about, it's controlling the banking function within your life, because our money has to be stored somewhere, right? And how we're normally taught is, okay, well, when I go make my money, I just go leave it at the local bank because, well, that's just where they keep the money at. And then what the bankers do is they're taking our money, your money, and they're lending it out to other people, making a good living off of your money. So all I'm doing is I'm just flipping the script. I'm making my deposits into my bank, i.e., my whole life policy designed for high immediate cash value. And when I put those premium deposits into my policy, there's a cash value in there that I can take it out immediately, start using it. And then now I'm the one who makes the interest, the profits, the dividends on my money, instead of like allowing the bankers to use it.
Oh, yes.
Instead, making a good living off of us. So high level, that's really what this is all about, is the control and freedom over where you're keeping your money stored at.
Amazing. I absolutely love it. Okay, so in your own words, why is understanding this concept, the how money actually work concept, essential to legacy building?
Oh, yes, because we don't understand that there's a leaky bucket, you know? We are just not taught about money. Seriously. I mean, myself graduating high school in the year of 2017, no, I didn't know about money and how to write a check besides just the conversation I was having at home. So we're just not taught how money actually works. And the thing is that you finance every single thing that you buy. And what I mean by that is that you either pay cash for something, and when you pay cash for stuff, you're losing out on the future interest that that money could have bought in you. Because, right, just real quick, if I have, let's say, $100 bill sitting inside of my pocket and I want to go out to this nice dinner, okay, I could withdraw the $100 from my checking account, go pay cash for the dinner. I bought the dinner, but guess what? I don't have anymore. I no longer have that $100. I have to go out there, work for it, earn it somehow to get it back inside of my pocket, earning me interest again. So that's what I mean by you're losing out on the future earning rights that money could have bought you. So paying cash, we understand that, or I could bank finance it. And yeah, if I bank finance it, then all the interest goes to the financing company or the conventional bank. And we think that there's no other way to conduct our banking business. So when I do it through these policies, I am now able to still use my money, go buy the $100 dinner, but my money still is earning me a guaranteed interest and dividends as if it never left my pocket. So that's number one. I'm keeping more of the money that I'm making. And number two, I know I don't talk about it a whole lot, but yeah, there's a death benefit on that policy. Because y'all, it's not an if it happens, it's a when it happens. That death benefit is going to get paid out to my beneficiaries. And that's going to get paid out lump sum tax free. And that's how the generational wealth and the legacy aspect of this concept comes into play. I mean, if you study up on families like the Rockefellers, look into a book called What Would the Rockefellers Do? I'll send it to you. I have a foreword in that book with my good friend Garrett Gunderson. And you really track how these wealthy elite families are keeping the wealth within inside the family, not practicing like the Vanderbilts did. You can see that they've been using this vehicle for over 200 years to keep the money in the family and pass on wealth generation after generation, not letting the government, big banks, probate, whatever it is, come in and suck out the wealth that you've really built up your family empire to.
Love it. Wow. So much information, wonderful information. Okay, so what key message or story would you like to share with our audience about your family's influence on the legacy you're building?
Yeah, you know really what it is? And I almost get tears in my eyes every time I think about this, but it truly is, you know, I gotta give all of the respect and the grace to number one, God, but also my parents for just paving this path for us. Because yeah, you know, dad was a successful chiropractor and it was great up there. But really, when you are going to events or conferences, because I travel around and I speak at anywhere from 50 to 70 live events a year, and people are coming up to you saying, hey, you don't even know me, but I listened to your podcast show. I've been following you on social media, and you completely changed my family's financial life. That is the most rewarding thing that you can ever feel. Just all the gratitude, the love, and you really feel like you have that purpose of helping other people. Because I don't know, dad taught us this quote at a young age, and he says, if you help enough people get what they want, you in return will get what you want. That's from Zig Ziglar, the late Zig Ziglar. Pops were big Zig Ziglar fans. That's why my younger brother, Zach, we nickname him Ziggy sometimes.
Okay, so I love the saying, be the first, pave the way. What would you like to be known as being the first in your family to do?
Oof. Honestly, first, just really not, wouldn't be the first woman to ever do that. But women do just have a truly special place in my heart, especially my single moms. I mean, you women just are just phenomenal and powerful. But I guess really for me, it would really just be the person that shows up. You can count on me, I guess is what I'm saying. No matter what's going on within my life, if something happens within my family, or if a friend, a client calls me up and they really, really need me, I'm going to be known to drop everything that I'm doing and show up. Because at the end of the day, that's all we have, right? Just the human connection and the relationships that we build here on this planet through this human experience is what I like to call it.
Certainly. I love it. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, so how do you define legacy? If you can put it in one word, what would that be? And why?
Yeah, traditions.
Mm.
I think legacy is truly about the traditions. Traditions, whether it's how you think, how you behave, no matter what it is. I think it's so much more than wealth, in my opinion. I've been thinking about this a lot more here recently about the word
Mm-hmm.
legacy and what it truly means. Because, yeah, you could think about legacy as, hey, I want to leave my kids and my family this big empire and all this money and this big business. And yeah, that's great and all. But I think what's more important is how we think and what we're going to do with this empire that you built, mom or dad, while we're no
Mm-hmm.
longer here. And if
Sure.
I don't have the skill sets, the mindsets to run this efficient machine that you built for us, I'm just going to burn this thing to the ground. It's not
Mm-hmm.
great.
Wow. Yes. I love that. I love the way you put it. Great answer. Okay. So what actionable, I guess, insight can you share that would empower our listeners to strengthen their own financial legacy?
Yeah. Number one, look at your stats, y'all. I know it can maybe feel like a chore and you don't want to do it, or you're scared to open up the credit card statement, your bank accounts, because you got a lot of dollars going out, maybe not much coming in. But you need to understand where you're at, and specifically just within our money life, right? What I do, if this is helpful, on the first Wednesday of every month, I block out in my calendar from 9 to 12. And that is me looking over my past months of my cash flow. I do it for my personal side. I also do it for my business side. And I want to track how much came in, what were my expenses that went out, because like I said, what I'm tracking is my keeping money. Doesn't matter how much you make, it only matters how much you keep.
Educate.
And so I'm tracking that stat of how much I'm keeping of my wealth. And then that gives me clarity of what I can do with it, whether it is putting marketing expenses back into my business, taking that money, going and doing investments with it. Now I have a clear path because I know what's going on and I'm not just flying through this black box. I know it sounds very easy, but seriously, y'all, sit with yourself. Are you actually doing it? And
Mm-hmm.
if the answer is no, I would just encourage you to find the confidence. Don't be nervous, and it's okay. You got to be honest and humble and have a little bit of humility when you're going through that. Like, yeah, sorry, girlfriend, you're spending $400 a month at Starbucks. That's kind of a lot. That's probably where all your money's going right now. But a lot of people think that they still have checks left on the counter, that there's still money in the bank, and you got to track your stats of what you're doing. And then, in my humble opinion, the money that I'm keeping at the end of the month, that's the dollars that I start to flow through my policies.
Okay. Love it. Great tip. Very easy and simple to do. Yes. Okay. Any last minute practical advice for the listeners to even amplify their own legacy?
Yeah, I would say a big thing that I've been going through in my own personal life is showing up authentically myself, being honest with myself of what I like to do, what I don't like to do. If y'all have ever heard of that book, Who Not How, by Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy, that has been transformative just in my life and my business, because again, yeah, it's money that creates the freedom, my time freedom back, but I don't want to be spending my time doing things that I hate. Can we all agree with that? If I can offload that stuff to somebody else who has those better habits and skill sets than what I do, I'm going to do it. So then I'm waking up every day feeling excited, feeling like I am living my truth and what I want to do, because I'm not looking at my calendar thinking, oh my goodness, I got to talk to this person, do this, do that, do that. I want to enjoy the journey of this life in my business and my personal development, my spiritual development, and enjoy the journey and not just solely focus on this destination of where I'm trying to get to. Because we're all going to get there. Have you ever thought about that? It always seems to work out, does it not?
Sure does. It sure does. So enjoying the journey is something that everyone needs to just take a step back and do.
100%.
So Hannah, this has been so very powerful. Thank you so very much for showing up, and giving us so many wonderful gems and telling us that money isn't just about the dollars. It's about freedom, time, and building something that's lasting.
That's the thing too. Don't overcomplicate it.
That's so very true. For our listeners, if you want to learn how to become your own bank, reclaim your financial freedom, and create a money legacy, head over to themoneymultiplier.com and connect with Hannah. Reach out to her on social media and see how she can help you level up. Hannah, thank you once again for joining us today.
Hey, let's do it again sometime soon. Mwah.
Indeed, indeed. And to everyone listening, remember your legacy isn't just built in the future, it's built in the choices that you make every single day. Until next time, keep amplifying your legacy. Bye-bye for now.
That's all for this episode of Amplify Your Legacy. A huge thank you for listening in today. I hope today's conversation has sparked some reflection on your own legacy. Let's keep the conversation going. Connect with me on LinkedIn or Instagram at Sallana Brown. And visit sallanabrown.com for more resources on growing and preserving your legacy. Be sure to leave a rating or review. It helps others discover the show. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss out on future episodes packed with inspiration and actionable strategies. Until next time, keep amplifying your legacy.